Acuña on the field in Colorado, approached by fans, and then toppled over by fans. Security gets to Acuña, not in time. The players, not in time. A crowd then forms around him, and finally, the fans are escorted off the field. I've got about 20 issues with what happened, and I'm going to give you my top 3. As president of the Braves, as commissioner of Major League Baseball, and as president of another team. Let's start with as president of the Atlanta Braves. When you send your team on the road, you expect that your players will be protected by the home team. When you have a traveling star show, the way we did in 2016 with Barry Bonds and Ichiro, we traveled with security as well. But when you're on the road, in addition to your own security, in addition to hotel security, you expect more security outside the clubhouse, you expect more security by the dugout, and you expect more security around the field. I don't want to have to worry as the president of a road team when my players go. And Acuña is, and we're going to get to this, the leader in the clubhouse. That's the wrong use of the expression, Coca. 469. Acuña is the current favorite to win the MVP in the National League. It goes back and forth with him and Betts. I want to talk about the MVP race. But when the Braves travel, I don't view them as the Beatles. I'm not sure that extra security is warranted. And this is not yucking on any of the yums of the fantastic players that the Braves have, because they are deep and fantastic. That said, every major league team deserves a minimum. And the minimum is that they're not going to be approached on the field. What do we do as president, GM? We talk to our players. They are not allowed to engage with fans who run on the field. They are told to back away, to walk away, to run away if they have to. Under no circumstances are they supposed to do what I would encourage football players to do were I president of a football team. When you're in pads and a helmet and some drunk A-Rod runs onto the field, I am all in. Tackle him. Take him down. Clothesline him. Don't care, because I don't think my player's going to get hurt. When you have no pads, no helmet, no bat, I don't want you engaging with the fan. I don't want you to get hurt. We can talk about the legalities. We can talk about who could sue who. Is it assault? Is it not assault? What the charges should be for the fan, and they should be charged and put in the jail that all stadiums have, and charges should be pressed. But you tell the player to walk away. Acuña did not. He stood his ground. I understand those of you are going to say, stand your ground. That's the law. You're allowed in states to stand your ground. Yippee. No, I don't want players standing their ground. We also say, make sure your teammates are safe. It's not like tennis when Monica Seles is alone on the court getting stabbed. People, if you don't remember that, go look at the video. It would blow your mind. In a changeover, she was stabbed. Acuña needed to run away. He didn't. President of the Braves, I'm calling immediately 2 people. The president of the Rockies, and I'm calling Major League Baseball. And I'm asking, what are we going to do to make sure this doesn't happen? How is this avoided? Do we need to have a federal system? Federal in the terms of baseball. A good way to look at baseball always is that when the commissioner's office is doing something, think about that like Democrats, where there's heavy government. That's government involvement. That's nationalizing items. If you want security that baseball supplies, instead of the teams or in addition to the teams, that security would be paid for by all 30 teams equally. As president of the Marlins, I'm not voting in favor of that because I don't want to pay 1/30th of the security that's needed when there's 40,000 people at a stadium when my stadium has 10,000 people. I want the stadium with 40,000 people to pay for the security when there's 40,000 people. But one option would be for baseball to take over or augment existing security. One option would be for baseball to get involved with certification of the training for the security that teams have. You learned yesterday the training is not perfect, to say the least. They are game day employees, and we're going to get to that later in the show. Concession, security, ushers, ticket takers, they're game day employees. They are not full-time employees of the team. They are subcontracted. They are actually paid for by your security company or by your concessionaire. Baseball can implement a rule where security has to be a part of a team. We had a security department. It was 3 guys full-time. They needed to make sure, and they were in charge of making sure that the game day security people were doing the best they could, coordinating with the police. As president of the Rockies, I am ashamed, embarrassed, mortified, yet not changing my staffing. The way staffing works for security is that you estimate what your attendance is, and I don't mean what you announce because you make that up. You estimate actual butts in seats, and then you assign roughly, call it 1 per section, 2 per section down below, several by the clubhouse, by the areas where fans are down below. Ironically, where there is the most player interaction are the highest priced tickets, which require the least amount of security. That may be profiling and not on race. It's more on socioeconomic, who's spending money for tickets. But you figure out where you are placing your security. Teams are involved in this. You cannot, under any circumstance, predict when someone jumps over a wall. What you do is you protect all of the entrances. MLB enforces this, as do all home teams and road teams. Make sure that there is security anywhere the field can be accessed through a gate, through a door, or through a short wall. The big outfield wall, if someone jumps over, they jump over. There's nothing you can do. Look at Acuña here. He needs to back away. Before that video started, he had a moment where he could. Then he gets toppled. He needs to get up. Where are the players? What took so long for them to get there? And only the security now? And where are the police? Yesterday in Colorado was an embarrassment and a danger to Acuña. And baseball is going to take note. And when I tweeted that there is going to be a memo, what I meant is that the commissioner of baseball and Central Baseball is going to get involved. You cannot have your MVP leader. You cannot have any player, but certainly not a superstar, ever feeling as though they are in danger. Or, worse yet, actually being in danger.